Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be sharing with you guys how I recreated this 3-piece rich anti vibes kimono set for a client in diaspora. The beginning of this tutorial started with the measurements I received from my client, followed by how I figured out the measurement that worked perfectly for her. So this tutorial is all about the making of the kimono jacket. Then the next would be for the 2-piece inside. Do not forget to like and share the video, and let's get right into the tutorial. For this tutorial, I used the damask fabric for both the jacket and the 2-piece inside, that's the top and the trouser. For the jacket, I used 4 meters, and the top and trouser, I used 3 meters of fabric. The damask for the top and trouser is lightweight, but a Mikado fabric will work better. So these fabrics are from Lagos, Nigeria. I'll leave the contact of the vendor in the description for anyone who might be interested. My initial measurements and the size of my clients are up on the screen before adjustment. So this line here will serve as my shoulder line, and I've come in by ½ an inch for my joining allowance to the lapel and drew in my center front line. So we'll go ahead and draw our normal kimono jacket. On the shoulder line, from the center front line, I'll place my neck width of 3½ inches and make a point there, and the neck depth of 10 inches, I will mark that as well. Then from the center front line, I'll place my mid back to sleeve length. For me is 27 inches plus ½ inch seam allowance. I'll make a point there. So guys, after sewing up the jacket, I found out that 27 inches was way too long, so I reduced it to 24 inches. And here is a before and after picture. From that 27 inches point, I'll go down by 2 inches for my shoulder slope and connect it back to the neckline. With my tape on the shoulder line, I will go down 40 inches for the full length of the kimono and 2 inches for my hemming allowance and square out the points. With my tape on the 2 inches shoulder slope point, I will go down 20 inches for my sleeve opening, and on this line I will come in by 3½ inches, making the width or the wideness of my kimono to be 24 inches. So if you measure from the center front line to this point, it will measure 24 inches. I'll place the same 3½ inches at the hem and draw in my side seam. I'll blend in the side seam at the armhole and draw in the front neckline. I'll cut it out with a ½ inch joining allowance along the shoulder, but I will not be cutting my front neckline yet. Then on the side seam here, I added 1 inch seam allowance for the drawstring, but you will not be needing this. Just add your normal ½ inch because I later trim this off. So guys, this was all I did for the front panel. I'll use it as a template to cut out the back panel. I have placed the front panel on the back to serve as a template, and I left an extra 2 inches space on the back for our back neckline adjustment. I will extend the neck width of the front upwards, replace the shoulder line of the front to the back and square it out so that we can develop the neckline of the back. So I'm just reconfirming my neck width of 3½ inches. Then with my tape on the shoulder line of the front, I will go up by 1½ inches for my back neckline adjustment. I will square out this point and draw in my back neckline. With my tape placed along the shoulder line of the front, I will go up by 1½ inches for my back shoulder line and connect the points with a straight line. I will cut it out, adding a ½ inch joining allowance on the neckline and along the shoulder. I will also cut out the neckline of the front panel and split open the center front. So this was all I did for the back panel. I will go ahead and cut out the lapel, the facing for the sleeves, and the pieces for the drawstrings. And these are just long strips of fabric. So guys, I've cut out the rest of the pieces. These strips will be used to hem the sleeves. The width measure 3 inches, and this includes joining allowance. I've interfaced it. So this one is the lapel for the center front. It measured 5 inches and this includes seam allowance as well. And I've interfaced it on the side that will be top stitch on the right side of the jacket. Then this strip here will be used to create the channel for the drawstring and the rope. The width measured 1 inch and the length is according to your preference. Then my front and back panel. I'm going to start by joining the front and back panels on the shoulders and overlock the raw edges. I have joined the front and back panels and overlocked the raw edges. Next, I'm going to hem the sleeves. So with the right side of the strip to the wrong side of the kimono, I will attach with a straight stitch. I will then flip it to the right side, pin it in place and run a top stitch to secure it. So guys, I'm done hemming the sleeves and this is what the jacket looks like. At this point, I decided to try it on and see how it's coming together. So the first thing I noticed was that the fabric was not comfortable against the skin at all. So I got a lightweight cotton fabric for lining. Secondly, I reduced the measurement of the mid back to sleeve length from 27 inches to 24 inches. In these 24 inches, I used 2 inches as the sleeve band, and this really helped hide the side seam of the kimono when I attached it. You know, the sleeves of this kimono are very wide, unlike in the first method where the side seams were really visible when you look in from the side of the sleeves. So this is me trying on the kimono after changing the sleeves, adding the lining and the drawstring. This video was for my client to show her the difference between these two sleeve lengths. So here in the video, the mid back to sleeve length was still 27 inches. On side A is a 27 inches mid back to sleeve length. You can see that the length is almost to my wrist and is much bigger. Then on side B, I pleated it in on the shoulder to 24 inches and I think it made more sense on this side. On side A, the ends of the side seam of the jacket is much longer than the center front with the drawstring opened. Even when I closed the drawstring, it was still slightly longer than the center front. Then on side B, with the pleats on the shoulder, it was also slightly longer than the center front when I opened the drawstring, but not like in A. So I'll show you guys how I fixed that. This is the wrong side of the jacket. You can see how neat and properly sewn the jacket is. I'll show you guys how I attach the lining, reduce the mid back to sleeve length from 27 to 24 inches and the rest of the tutorial. So guys, at this point, I'd already trimmed off the excess and didn't realize my camera was not recording. And I'm using this one here as a template to cut out the rest of the panels. So I've made a sketch of what I did on this fabric piece and to show you my final measurement. This is my front and back panel, the center front, center back, and this is where my sleeve opening stopped. So from the center front line to this side seam is 22 inches and I took this measurement from the shoulder line down to the hem of the jacket. So if you add the ½ inch seam allowance to the center front and side seam, you will have a total of 23 inches. Then on the sleeve side, I will add a 2 inches sleeve band, completing my mid back to sleeve length 24 inches. So this is the sleeve piece that will be attached back to the kimono to complete my mid back to sleeve length 24 inches. The width of the sleeve band measured 5 inches and unfold measured 2.5 inches, and this includes seam allowance. I have cut out the lining using my kimono piece as a template, and I cut out exactly the full length of the kimono, which is 40 inches, and I attached the lining to the fabric using my hemming gum strip. So I laid out the strips of the hemming gum on the fabric like you see me doing in the video and glued it on using a hot iron. Once everything is nice and okay, I'll go ahead and attach the front and back panels and the shoulders and overlock raw edges. Then I will attach the sleeve strip. So guys, I've done all that I said. I've attached back the front and back panels together and have overlocked the raw edge. I have also attached the sleeve band, and I think this is more better than the former one. You can see that the width of the band measured 2 inches. The next thing I'm going to do is to work on the hem of the jacket. Once you get to this point, you're going to work first on the ends of the sides of the jacket to get them at the same level to the center front and back. This is the front panel and this is the back panel. This is the sleeve opening, the side seam where we'll add the drawstring, then the hem of the kimono. From the hem of your kimono on the side seam, you will go up by 3 inches. Let's say your 3 inches is here. Then you're going to slightly connect the lines without making much curve. If your hem allowance is 1 inch or 2 inches, you will take the measurement from your hem allowance so that when you hem the kimono by how many inches your hem allowance is, it will still correspond to the 3 inches. So this is how I was able to balance off the side seam of the kimono to the center front and back when I closed in the drawstring. Once that is done, I'll go ahead and overlock the hem of the jacket. So guys, I've done that. I also reduced the seam allowance on the side. I'll be attaching the piece for the channel of the drawstring to the barest minimum. From the hem of the kimono, I went up by 14 inches for the length of the channel of the drawstring. The width of the channel piece measured 1 inch. The length measured 15 inches with 1 inch seam allowance, and I've overlocked the sides. I will center the channel piece on the seam line of the kimono, 1/2 inch on both sides of this seam line, and attach with a straight stitch on both sides of the channel piece and on the center of the seam line of the kimono as well. These are the drawstring ropes I've already prepared. Once I'm done attaching the channel piece, I'll pass these ropes through the channel piece like so. So first, I'll go ahead and hem the jacket and attach the channel piece for the drawstring. So guys, I've done all that I said and we are gradually coming to the end of the tutorial. The last but not the least is to add the lapels. So I'll go ahead and attach the lapels to form one long strip. Then with the right side of the lapel to the wrong side of the jacket, I'll pin it in place. Attach with a straight stitch and top stitch the right side of the lapel on the right side of the jacket. To finish off the hem of the lapel of the kimono and get that professional finish, I'll fold in the excess to make a crease line. Trim off the excess of the lapel, chalk it down and attach with a straight stitch. Once that is done, I will turn it out on the right side. Once I'm happy with the way it turned out, I'll go ahead and stitch it close, and I'll do the same on the other side and I'll show you guys the final look. Do not forget to like and share the video. Leave all your questions in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. A bientôt!